Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's Sunday, the last Sunday of December, last Sunday of 2020. Thank God it's almost over. I come to you every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time doing these readings. And for the last, this is week 4 of it, I believe, maybe 4 or 5, where I'm doing 100% of donations are going to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. There are a lot of people in need right now. So we're going to help out how we can. And next week I'll add up exactly how much we've donated. It's quite a bit, so that's like pretty exciting. And every dollar affords three meals. So a little goes a long way. So your $5 donation allows for 15 meals. Please please subscribe, head over to my website and sign up there to be a part of my email list. I pretty much, I leave you alone. I send you maybe an email once a week. I'm going to send one more additional email this week. I do want to go live and do another manifesting chat, kind of talk about some things that I've been doing the last couple of days, even started doing, and it seems to like kind of catapulting me in a different direction, and just things that are helping me get past my own blocks, and maybe they'll help you. But if you sign up for my email, you're automatically entered into be a part of a drawing for a free 30-minute reading every month. So I sent out the emails. I drew January's already, just so I don't forget, and December's. I sent out those emails today. So sign up. I mean, like, you're going to get one email a week from me. I'm not going to bombard you. And who am I giving them out to? I don't even advertise for myself. So everything is word of mouth for me. So tell your friends about me, get a private reading. I'm doing mentoring. I'm going to start adding some more things in. Another person I want to talk about is Dan McCleskey. His YouTube channel is Spiritually Out of the Closet. He's got some cool videos over there. Check him out. And he's a huge supporter here, so I want to make sure that we support him. And I'm always happy to, support you guys too. So a couple things I want to mention too. Last week I did a spiritual chat, and Marijuana Community came on, and he or she made a comment about the vaccine and about how somebody died right on TV. And so I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, well, sometimes things happen. But it wasn't from the vaccine. And I wanted to clarify that, because misinformation gets out there, and I don't want to be a part of that, because I'm really big on, clarity. And so what happened was the nurse fainted, and the nurse and I don't even know where it was that this happened, somewhere in the United States. The nurse fainted, and she has a medical condition. It's a rare medical condition where she faints when she has pain. So needle stick, injection, pain, she fainted on the stage. It had nothing to do with the vaccine. It was a pre-existing condition. It could have happened if someone punched her in the face. I mean, she could have knocked out from anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Any shot could have given that to her. Any blood draw could have given that to her. So I wanted to clarify that. I also wanted to I got a really cool validation. So I guess it was a few weeks ago. I don't even know the exact show. Cindy came on and she was asking about a community service organization, but I happened to mention before some changes happened with one of her things, I mentioned that I thought that she would get the COVID vaccine, and she did. So she's got it because of this thing. So that was a validation, because that wasn't even on her radar. So I'd like to do that and let you guys know. What I've been doing the last couple of days is listening to a ton of affirmations. And this is really funny. I don't leave the house much because what am I going to do? But I went to go pick up a present that I had bought online from the mall. And I just got my car. I thought, well, I'll get something free today. Because why not? Because a lot of people, when they do manifesting, will try and get a free cup of coffee or whatever. But I drink my coffee at home, mostly because I'm a coffee snob. Anyway, and if you want to try a really good coffee, there's one called, this is just because I like to try and do whatever I do. I try to if it can help somebody else, then I try to do that. So there's a really awesome coffee called shit. It's not called shit. Don't drink it if it's called shit. Now I need to I just want to look and see. It's out of Wisconsin, Operation Coffee. And this guy is a pharma service member. And when he was discharged, he had done, he had gone overseas, I think a couple times, and he had a hard time. And so part of the proceeds from the coffee go to help for suicide awareness for veterans. And the bonus is it's really good coffee. So I like a medium roast. I don't like it really acidic. I don't like the real fruity flavors. So I didn't order a fruity flavor. But it's super, super smooth. It's not acidic. It's really easy to drink. I really like it. It has like nutty, chocolatey, caramelly undertones. So if you like coffee, that's a good roaster, and it goes to a great cause. He is a small roaster, so I did have to, I put an order in knowing that I'd have to wait a little bit for it to get shipped to me. So if you need coffee right now, this isn't the place to go, but it is a really great cause to support. And if you're looking it up, it shouldn't be Rifle. I'll end up posting it below here. I'll link it just because why not? So anyway, so I was manifesting and I said, let me get something free. So I pick everything. I picked the thing up. Then I went to get a book and I went to the bookstore and I ended up going home. I thought, I didn't get anything free. And a couple hours later, I get an email from the store that I purchased the item from saying you still have to pick it up. And I looked and I never signed and gave this slip to say that I picked it up. I was purchasing something also. The store was really busy and he just forgot to have me sign it. Now, technically, if I didn't have a guilty conscience, if I wouldn't have felt terrible about it, I could have gotten the item for free. Nobody would have known. They would have had no, whatever. So, but I did go back the day after Christmas and say, hey, I want your inventory to be correct. And I want to get charged for this because I sort of believe if I want everybody to be honest with me and if that intention is out there, then I also need to be honest. Right. And I just whatever. That's not the way I want to get something free. But technically, the universe provided. I should have been more specific. Let me be okay with getting this thing for free. Anyhow, but I've also started kind of having the idea that I get things discounted or it's always on sale when I go to get it. And so whatever. Anyway, hello. I hope everybody had. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. It's the second day, I believe. And if you celebrated Christmas, belated Merry Christmas. Get ready for a new year. It's going to be a better year. Okay, so let's get going. To the list, please add Stacy. She is also on the list after Tiffany. And I hope everybody is well. Hi, Jennifer. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Hi, Regine, Devry, Chatterbox. So who wants to start? Nicole, Dan, if you have a question, if you'd like to ask a question, I know that you just donate, but Oh, this is really cool. So I always manifest that I'm always going to make more money than I did last year. That's my belief. I always make more money. Every year I make more money than I did the previous year. I almost tripled my income. Now I can't live off of it. My husband could. This is not a livable income yet. But still to triple when I don't advertise. And this is the only advertising I do. Otherwise, everybody who gets a reading from me, it's literally word of mouth. That to me is amazing. So for all of you who've gotten readings, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting me. I appreciate it. Yay. Please tell me something about Jose. I saw him yesterday and my feelings are fading. Just wondering if yours. So here's my question for you. This is not the psychic. This is a friend coming to you because sometimes we just need a friend conversation. If your feelings are fading, maybe that's your sign. Maybe you don't need. So ask another question because that's my feeling. Is when I do a reading for whatever time it is, it's that timeline. So if you keep your mind shifted and your manifesting mind shifted that you don't believe it's possible or whatever, then so the possibility might be there, but then whatever your thoughts did, it shifted it, right? So for me, when I get a reading, if I don't like what somebody tells me, I'm like, no. I'm shifting that. Like if I don't like the timeline they tell me it is, I'm like, no, I want it to happen earlier. So I'm going to see myself with whatever possibility for this to happen sooner. So that's what I say to you, but I don't want that to be your $5 question, because I feel like it's probably not going to happen because you're already shifting your energy on that one. So pick a new one, Nicole. It's not that it's not a possibility, but I also think here's what they're also saying. You've been working on your own affirmations and positive self-talk. And so you're sort of demanding, commanding, having higher expectations of what you want from your partner. This is like itching me today. I don't know. That's why I'm like this. Thank you, Dan. Oh, also, I'm going to open up some spots for doing mentoring. So if anybody wants to start developing their own psychic abilities, check me out. And oops, on my website, it says every 2 weeks, but I really do meet with you every month. And it doesn't mean it's just that's the personal in time space, but you email me, we email check in once a week. And I check in, and I'm always open. If you have something come up and you are like, hey, this was weird, or what do you think of this? I'm open for email anytime. It's just the personal one-on-one that's once a month. So, okay, relationship anytime soon. He said, 2 weeks, you're going to start dating someone, but it's going to go nowhere, which is not helpful. But I feel like the end of March, beginning of April, something more promising comes in. And he's a bit closer to your age and your needs and your desires and your wants. I feel like whoever this is that comes in a couple weeks might be a little bit older and a little bit, it's weird. I feel like he kind of talks to you in a condescending way. And my sense is that you're kind of like, ew, like, this doesn't work for me. And I feel like it's sort of like a test from the universe. Like, are you really growing, and are you really healing in your ideas of what you want in life, and ideas of who your own sense of self? So it feels like more like a test than anything. He said, you're moving in the direction you need to be. You're heading in the right, you're taking the right steps and you're heading in the right direction. Just keep up the work. Don't stop. Don't get, a lot of times when we're doing the work, or we're doing the manifesting, can't talk. You think that I'd be hitting the sauce today? I'm not. I don't really drink. So okay. But we give up like right before it comes to fruition. And they're sort of like, just trust that it's all going to happen and all fall into place, and your healing is happening and your healing is working. Does this make sense to you? Like, have you really been working on it just feels like affirmations and sense of self and self-love? Okay, Chelsea, I'll add you to the list. Okay. So I'm going to make you ask the question later. I'm deleting your comment only because I like, if I read the question right away, then I feel like I start to answer it. So Chelsea, I'll check the PayPal, but just wait till you'll be added to the end of the list. You're after Stacy. Okay. I'm not ignoring you, I promise, but I answer, like, I start to see them. I'm like, oh, but I'm not deleting you because I don't like you. I like you. Okay. You started a journal of affirmations. Yay. Listen. So this is like the thing that I started doing And I'll mention it again in the talk. I started listening to Roxy Talks affirmations. I like hers. So I check out everybody that does manifesting. I'm always all about to see, because even if I don't like everything that they say, there's always something that I can take and learn and grow. I'm pretty comfortable with who I am. But I'm going to listen to self-confidence ones. There's you can get from everywhere. So I'm listening to them. I actually wrote them all down. I hand wrote them all down and listen to them over and over and over again. That's instead of music, that's what I decided to listen to the last couple. Spent time doing that, and I just felt like in a really good buzzy space, and it sort of, any doubts that I had about anything or any inability to let go, I sort of just let all of it go, and I don't feel like I need to manifest the universe validating things for me. That I just know that it's all happening and working for me. So to me, it wasn't just the listening to it was also the writing it down. But I also think that I could memorize things and learn things easily if I just wrote them over and over and over again. No, list isn't closed. Kay, you're good to go. You can donate. I'm buffering a bit. I bet my daughter's playing on her Roblox and also chatting. And so let me see if I can message her. Tell her to get off. And yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock and she's playing on Roblox. So let's see. What am I finding her on? Sorry, guys. No, doesn't say she's on. Okay, hopefully, let's see. If it buffers anymore, I'll just step out real quick and just ask them to make sure they're off. Okay, so next up is Devry. We've got Devry, Dan, Dulcie, Melissa. Melissa, I see yours. Dan doesn't have anything. Okay. Yeah, please like and subscribe. It's nice to have you back, Blue Storm, since you used to be such a dedicated participant. And I know it's harder now that I'm asking for donations. So I appreciate you. Okay, Melissa says, where should I focus my job one for the best career pivot? Are you in advertising right now? Everyone's in general. Okay. Why does advertising or marketing come up? Because I feel like this is silly. Maybe it's just because I feel like the only people I know that use the word career pivot would be advertisers or marketers. What are you in currently? You're welcome, Nicole. Am I still buffering? Nonprofit education. Whatever it is, it feels more corporate. It doesn't feel like I'm supposed to stay in that, like a 401c3 or anything like that. This is interesting. I actually don't feel like you're going to make a big jump until 2023. whatever it is, it feels like whatever you're doing feels solid and it feels too risky to leave right now. And I feel like going into business for yourself in a way. So it feels like, thank you, Coco Chanel. Oh, she got a reading. We kept crossing our wires last week. So she got a reading for free. So it feels like to me, Melissa, like when you end up leaving, I actually feel like you might do real estate or something entrepreneurial, like where I go into my own business. Because I feel like I get some kind of certification, but it doesn't feel like a degree. It feels like a certification. And then I'm sort of working for myself. Like I set my hours, and that's why it feels like real estate, almost like I go and get my real estate license and do that. And maybe that's not interesting to you right now, but it doesn't necessarily feel like residential real estate either, which is weird, right? Because right now commercial real estate is sort of, but it feels like there's going to be a shift, pivot to the way in which we use those large spaces, and that's where it's going to start to grow, like mid 2022 to 2023, like maybe even the end of 2021, where there starts to be some movement in the commercial real estate market. Does any of this make sense to you or resonate at all? Probably be like, no. Anna. Am I still buffering? Anyone? Oh, KK, I'm good. Maybe my daughter realized what time it was and was like, ah. Because I always go and I say goodnight to her. And then I say, get off by this time. Well, this may be that's like sort of what I felt. So I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be like, it happens. I can be wrong. It is what it is. But okay, hang on. But that's sort of like what they're making me feel like, is that you're staying where you're at actually a little bit longer than you hope. Okay, so after Stacy, add Cheryl, or sorry, that's Chatterbox, Chelsea, and Kay. Okay, so Melissa's done. So Devery wants a general reading. So they said you have to work at seeing things in a different light, and don't be so hard on yourself. It's also this sense of need of like trying to control it all instead of leaving it all to the universe. Have you had anxiety lately? And then I'm also feeling like a pressure here on my left temple. This could be a tension headache. It's almost like that feeling of like that I'm getting right now is like pacing back and forth and kind of talking to myself a little bit, like out of frustration. Does that make sense? You've been having headaches. I actually, like, I'm getting a weird left eye twitch. Are you super stressed out right now? Like not getting enough sleep? Because I only get that when I'm super stressed and not getting enough sleep. And I actually have had enough sleep lately. I haven't been working out because I'm like so crazy tight in my neck, but I'm going back tomorrow. Sure, Melissa, you can donate again for a general. So the feeling I get is just like really working on patience when it comes to your manifesting, and patience to seeing the vision come out. And then they showed me like the little bit of a plant sprouting. So it's like it starts to grow. Like if you consider manifesting dropping the seed when you have something, right? And then it starts to grow a little bit, and then you kind of give up and like forget to water it, right? So you're just like, and watering it is the continued belief that it's coming to you and not worrying about how or when. So like if you're manifesting this job, which I do believe is heading your way, and the move, which is heading your way, and the relationship, which is heading your way, it's like you're going, well, I got a job and then it fell through. Like it's supposed to be that one. And just trust that, like, I sort of go, well, if that one that fell through, it fell through for a reason, because a better one's coming. I do sort of, the way they're making me feel like is you tend to get real comfortable somewhere, and instead of leaving, even if it's not the best, you'll stay there for a little longer than you should. We're all kind of guilty of that to some extent, right? I have a grandmother figure who's stepping through for you, Devry, and she has like kind of a little bit of a not a husky voice, but there's like a little bit of raspiness to it almost. And she says, patience was always your struggle. Did she have an issue with her? I think it's her left eye. It looks like either she was blind in her left eye or a heavy cataract that she never had corrected. Oh, weird. Twitch is gone. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm checking. Okay, add Cheryl and Aaliyah. Merry Christmas. Yeah, grandma. That's what I said it was. So the feeling I get is she's sort of like kind of coming in. She's trying to help you. She said she's trying to help things that are going on between you and your mom. So there's been discord or stress or like a rift. She's trying to whisper into your mom's ear when she sleeps at night. She said your mom is even more stubborn than you. Sorry, it's grandma, not me. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that. Just try. I think some of that is just more validations for you, Devry, like that the information I'm getting about, because we've been on here, you come on here every week, you are devoted and send the sweetest messages and always sending me blessings. I got it, Melissa. And so, I know that this is your struggle, but I think all of these other little messages along with it is to validate to you that this is still what they're talking to you about, is having faith, sticking with the affirmation, sticking with the belief that it's coming and it's happening. You just have to trust it and not try and control it. Okay. Dulce, are you here? Are you here? We are here. We are here. I clearly like Horton here, so who? Laura, did you pay? I don't have you on my list. Dulcie, are you here? Did you forget about us? Oh, you're Dulcie. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I'd love to know if there's a loving, committed relationship coming in. I didn't finish reading the question. Forgive me. I'm rolling my eyes because it feels like you're not really putting yourself out there. They're like, she's not really putting herself out there. That's what they said. I'm like, okay. So it feels like it feels like you start to dip your toe into the water in like 6 months or so. Like they said you're really afraid of rejection. Like really, like just, he said the last relationship really did a number on you. Was it pretty emotionally abusive, the last relationship? I literally saw you like just crying and just feeling very like dizzy and disoriented, like, and that feeling of just like not knowing who you were at the end of it. So what's really important to you is to work on between now and then. I think the reason why you'll be able to dip your toe in is because you'll kind of be working on self-care, self-love, better self-talk, and learning to just trust yourself. That it was a learning lesson. I never perceived it like that, but maybe it was. My family thinks so. Well, sometimes when we're in an abusive situation, and especially like emotional and verbal abuse, we don't see it as that. It's hard to see it as that. And but if your family thinks so and they're kind of talking like that, maybe trust that. That's what a codependent person says. Well, I messed up too. Like you're trying to take the responsibility of it. So work on between now and then healing that stuff, healing that it's inner talk, that self-talk, looking at what being codependent is. Look at what narcissistic emotional abuse looks like, what narcissistic abuse looks like. That way, when you go to meet someone else, instead of thinking like, I always pick somebody terrible, or what if it's going to be that bad person again? Because that's exactly what you'll attract if you do that. You heal that so you trust yourself enough because really, you just have to trust yourself to take care of yourself, to see the red flags and things like that. So that way you trust yourself enough to move forward into a healthy relationship and recognize the red flags and not think, oh, I'll just give them a try, go and hit the hills and run, like just take off. Don't stay in that relationship because that's sort of a test of the universe. Have you learned your lesson? Have you figured it out? But it feels like you'll start, they're not talking about a loving relationship yet. They're talking about sort of healing you first, and then you start dipping your toe back in the water. And it feels closer to 6 months than it does 4. All right. Melissa, I'll do your general reading real quick. Unless oh, okay. I'll hold you to the back since KK put you in that order. Allie, you're up. And Starry Sky, you're up. You both have 2 questions. Okay, Laura. When will I move from my parents' house? Will I live on my own or get married? I actually feel like you might move in September. And I feel like you'll have a roommate, and I don't feel like it's marriage. Marriage later. And it doesn't feel like a significant other. It feels like a friend. You're welcome, Laura. Blessings to you too. Wow. It feels like a good opportunity. It's like I got a good deal on it, so it would be stupid to pass it up. I actually do think you'll move for a job. It may be just, it's a really great commute. It's in a great area, something like that. It's close. But oh wow, I mean, cool. Okay, I was like, I don't know that you're applying for the jobs yet. I feel like you'll start applying in June, July ish. I think you'll still be in school. I don't feel like leaving school. It almost feels like I don't know that this is the exact scenario, but the feeling is like when a friend's parent owns the building or owns the apartment and they're like, hey, you can rent here for cheap, or they own the house and hey, you can rent here for cheap. It feels like some kind of deal like that where it's like a good deal. In Westchester, does Peekskill make sense? Because it feels around there. Or what's the name of that town? It's not White Plains. Is it? I'm trying to remember. I've been there. We don't live that far from each other. Trying to remember where some friends live, and I can't. I have friends since you live in Westchester, I have friends that own the Tasty Table in Ossining. It's really good. If you're ever looking for a restaurant, the Tasty Table in Ossining, it's really, really good. It's funny because the owner used to be in corporate marketing. She's one of our friends, and she'd be like, what am I going to do now? Like she did a lot of consulting kind of stuff. And I was like, I really keep seeing you. Like, are you going to do catering? You're doing something with your cooking. She's like, no. And like a year later, I'm like, why do I keep seeing you owning your own business and having a restaurant or like, doing this? And they were like in the process of buying the restaurant and researching it. I was like, turkeys. Let me see if this is, maybe I'm thinking White Plains. Yeah, White Plains, something like that. White Plains or Peekskill. They're kind of further apart though. So you live in Dutchess County. Oh, okay. Right above Westchester. It feels like whatever it is, it has like a little town center, kind of like a younger town center. All right. Starry Sky. You're up. 2 questions. Mallory, Regine. You're welcome, Allie. Allie, you should manifest friends. When I lived in the city, I was doing travel nursing. I mean, I liked the nurses enough, but I didn't connect with them in the same way. I don't like clubs, and I like dive bars and like live music. And I didn't really want to like dress up fancy or pay to drink. I just wanted to go have a beer. Um, and so I was like, look, and I wanted people that were a little bit more spiritual, or I don't know, not so surface. So I like Googled how to meet friends, because I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like I always knew people, I just, and I didn't. So whatever. So I ended up finding a light workers group, and that's like how I met people. But manifest that, put out to the universe. Like, you want to meet people, you want friends to be in your life. And instead of saying I don't have any friends, sort of put it in the process of like, people are attracted to me, and I meet people that I have really wonderful connections with, and we have great conversation, whatever it is. I can go to all of those things. I worry about my niece Marjorie. She has been with her boyfriend Brendan for 5 years. Do you think they will get married? Is he a good guy or a player? I don't think he's a player, but I do feel like he's a bit manipulative. Like he has like some control issues. I don't know that they'll get married. I'm not even sure she says she wants to get married, but I feel like she has a lot of doubts within her own head. But they're super codependent, dysfunctionally together. And I don't know if there's some dependency issues there, like actual like alcohol or weed dependency issues. Doesn't feel like anything like hard drugs. I don't see anybody freebasing or anything. but it just feels a little like sloppy, is kind of the feeling I get. Hit the like button, subscribe. Probably weed. He works with weed. There you go. I don't feel like it helps her. I feel like there's some people that can smoke weed and like you'd never know. And like there's some people that are just like super sloppy stupid when they get high. And I feel like she's like not functioning on a clear brain. She feels just sloppy to me. Not that she's a sloppy person. It's just like when she does it, she becomes kind of sloppy. And she doesn't see clearly, and it like sort of goes down this like emotional roller coaster path with him. Save the puppies. It just doesn't feel I don't feel like either of them are really in the mindset of wanting to get married. Like that's not their thing. And they're sort of saying like I don't see them parting either way. I just see them being like functionally dysfunctional. Did you have another question? And then Mallory and Regine, if you guys are ready. I'm looking to see if she made a payment. I don't have a payment from her. Have you ever had a past life in a church? Not as like one of the clergy or anything, but I see you as like an orphan who, I don't know if it would have been an altar boy or who just somehow helped. Mallory, if you're here, Regine. Regine, I feel like someone is going to be pregnant within the next 6 months, and I feel like they'll actually both get pregnant, and it'll be like one and then the other. So they'll kind of come in around the same time. And it'll be like a surprise to both of them because they don't realize, like, even though they talk about it, they don't realize that they're both actively really trying. But I feel like one is trying to space, is like one of your sisters, because you're not giving me any names, but I feel like one of them is kind of type A, and like the spacing has to be perfect between, like, it just feels like perfect spacing. You're welcome, Starry Sky. So it feels like she has to have the timing perfect. And so she'll time it fairly perfectly to whatever she wants. And then the other one gets pregnant, like trying, but not, like not trying, but trying. Or trying, but not trying. The pull and pray. Just kidding. And it sort of happens around the same time. And it's like meant to be. One of them is a boy, and I don't know about the other, to be honest with you. Mallory, are you here? Blue Storm, Tiffany. That's exactly what they're doing? Okay. You're welcome, Regine. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for your sweet words. Mallory, Blue Storm, Tiffany, you're up. And then I think we'll give this one last person a chance if they want to purchase a reading, and then we're going to close the list. Mallory, are you here? Blue Storm, Tiffany. There you are. Happy New Year. That's exactly, it's funny. You're considering pre-owned. I felt like it'll be new to you, but a pre-owned, and it'll feel like it'll be like a certified used car. So like when you go to the dealerships, the cars that have been leased out, but then they sell, that's what it feels like to me. And it feels like a silvery or like a goldish champagne-y color, because that's what I keep seeing, like a sparkle to it. And it feels like a sedan, so it wouldn't be, it doesn't feel like an SUV. It feels more sedanish. And I feel like it'll be in May. So there's some sales event or something, and you get a really good deal on it. And I feel like easily affordable and like efficient. I keep feeling like if I'm looking at brands, I keep feeling like I'm leaning towards it being a Honda, maybe an Acura, because they're kind of, the Acura is just a step up of that. Because then I thought, well, is it Toyota? I don't feel Lexus. And I don't feel like Kia or Hyundai. Um, but it feels like it's in really good condition and you get a really good deal on it. You're welcome. Mallory, are you here? Oh, there you are. What do you see coming up for me? I've been struggling so much. I don't know if you've been doing therapy, but I heard a new therapist, and I know that's like, oh, a great gift or whatever, but it just feels like a shift that then like opens things up, like finding a new person to talk to, then it opens things up. I don't know when you're timed for the vaccine, but because I asked, when are you getting the vaccine? Because I feel like as soon as you get that and you're on your way, and I know you work in the school systems, you'll be doing better because you'll feel more relaxed about being out and about more and being more interactive with people. It doesn't mean you're not wearing a mask. It just means like just having that weight lifted off of you. And you're really empathic, Mallory. Because it's also that feeling of like you're not really like you're looking at a lot of your stuff that you're going through, which is valid, and some of it is this, but as part of your grief, and you're processing the grief of losing your husband. But what they're sort of making me feel like is, but a huge part of this too is you feeling the collective energy of the uncertainty. And is your school district a poorer, or I don't know I don't know what the right word is for it. I know I'm not using the right term, but does it serve the more underserved community? Because it feels like you're feeling the impact of that community. I don't know why this is, but every time I get connected into your energy, I always feel Florida. And I know you're not anywhere near Florida, but I always feel Florida. Why? What is your connection to Florida? Are you here? Are we connecting? While we're waiting, Tiffany, if you want to get your question ready, Stacy, if you want to get your question ready. Sorry, I feel like I was getting a tickle in my nose. Excuse my yawn. Ah, I see that person who came in didn't want to pay for a reading. There you are. Yes, Valerie, I was talking to you. Did you hear me? That's okay. If you want to go back and watch it. No, you didn't. Okay. Tony was from Florida. Okay. I'm like, why do I keep thinking Florida? Like everything is Florida, 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 Florida. And I keep seeing like, the way they all have like that mosquito tent thing over their pools, so that they can like enjoy the outdoors without getting eaten alive by bugs. That's what I keep seeing. Oh, that's all you heard. So I felt like, let me see if I can remember. Christ. So I said, I felt like you're really empathic. And so even though you're dealing with the grief and the loss of Tony, you're really also feeling like a lot of the stuff with the community. And I said, it feels like you're working for like an underserved community, the school district you're in, the school you're working with. Because I'm pretty sure you're in schools, right? You're working with schools. And it feels like you're picking up the energy of the families of that community. I do feel like I did say I felt like you'll feel better once you get the vaccine. And so that to me, that feels like March, but I don't know if that's the timing for when you're supposed to get it. Like I get first week of March, and it'll just sort of give you a sense of relief of just, being able to go out. I said, not that you're not wearing your mask. You're at schools. Okay. And, but that, it offers a sense of relief, for you. Are you planning on visiting Florida? I feel like you might take a trip there. Like maybe even with his kids, taking them on a trip, like just to like sort of like celebratory being done. There may be a trip coming up for you in 2021 with his kids to Disney. That's what I felt like. I'm like, you're going to go. I'm not sure if it's spring break, but by June. I don't feel the summer, but by June. And that's not that hot down there yet. I mean, it's hot, but it's not like, I mean, I grew up in Houston, which is like swamp land. I went to high school and college outside of Wisconsin, or in Wisconsin, and I've lived all over. And Houston is like, it's swamp, it's gross. I do not miss their weather, but June is still sort of tolerable. And I always like, to me, Florida's weather feels just like Houston. It's gross and bugs, lots of bugs. Don't worry about it. It's okay. So I've got Tiffany, Stacy, Cheryl, and Aaliyah. You guys are up. Hey, Mallory, I feel like just making sure you're doing some breathing and sort of like be gentle with yourself about the process of the grief, and know that it's still it's gonna be a while before you're not kind of cycling, where you're okay and not okay. And Tiffany, oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You did email that to me. My son is about to move to Los Angeles to pursue his dream career in the arts. How will this move be for him? So it's definitely going to test his, test him and figure out how gritty he really is. I feel like he'll get a break in May, which will sort of kind of revive his drive to want to be there. there's more opportunity for him now, believe it or not, than there would have been a year ago. Is he going into acting? Just that may be what I mean. It's like it's weird because the reason why I said acting is because they said there's a part for him, like there's a part written for him. So maybe they're just saying, like, metaphorically speaking, it's written for him already, like written in the stars. But I feel like he's going to have more opportunities than he would have in the past. And it feels like he'll make the right connections that he needs, but it also feels like an opportunity just making its way for him. I don't know any other way to explain it. It's just like it opens up, the door gets open for him. He's into manifesting and law of attraction because I feel like he is, and I feel like he's like sort of working this out and trusting it'll work. I don't feel music. I feel photography over music, to be honest with you. Like maybe a side gig with the music, but I feel like his bread and butter is going to be from photography. He feels more mystical, like a mystical person. He feels like he has a lot of faith and trust, and I feel like that's working in his favor. So he'll do what he needs to do in order, like nothing illegal, but I mean, like he'll take side jobs and crappy things just to like, or like whatever, portrait photography, like whatever he needs to do in order to just like pay his bills. But it will test his resolve. But he's gonna grow a lot from this. It'll be good for him. All right. Who do I have? Chatterbox, who do you want to hear from? Can you give me a name? It makes it a little easier when it just does. It just makes it easier. You're welcome, Tiffany. And Stacy and Aaliyah, you're up too. Kieran. I literally just heard you're chasing a dead end. Did you come up with something new that you're like trying to put together? This was like something new. And they said you're chasing a dead end. Like you're hitting a wall. Did he have glasses and blonde hair? And the way the glasses are showing me, it feels like maybe I was a preemie and I had retinopathy of prematurity or a little bit of amblyopia or strabismus or something like that. Like I've had them since I was little. Is there something with his fingers? Because I keep doing this too. What's oh my God? What's oh my God? Type faster. This is like the worst cliffhanger. Preemie. Okay. Are you sure he didn't have something with his eyes as a preemie? Maybe they're just trying to get that across to me. Did he have something with his fingers? So to me, he had oxygen issues because I feel like almost like the way they're showing me is like clubbing of the fingers. That's why I was doing this. And kids will sometimes get finger clubbing if they wear oxygen for a long time. Or people. Or if they're not oxygenating well and they have cardiac issues. Does he have heart issues? Did he have heart issues? No. Did he have heart issues? Are you sure? Did he have a PDA that didn't close on its own, that they had to help close it? Like there's something cardiac connected. What do you want to know from him? Because he's okay, and it feels like we know why he died. It's okay. There's also something with the brain. There, he had issues, though maybe you weren't aware of it, but there's something going on. It's not just preemie. There's medical stuff going on. How preemie was he? Because the stuff I'm showing is like preemie. Because even they're showing me like this open, like the sutures open. So oxygen issues. You get clubbing from oxygen issues. Are you sure it was croup and not RSV? I'm sorry about your loss. I don't know. I hate to say this, but I almost think they diagnosed him with croup, but I don't think it was croup. Maybe that's why he's making my brain when you said he was brain dead, that's why he made me feel this was wide open. Like, either there was a hemorrhage or there was extra cerebral spinal fluid creating pressure here. So I don't feel like he suffered. Like even if he had the croup or whatever, I feel like whatever happened, he was sort of already out. He was sort of already like not really. He was like, so he is okay. I know the doctor said croup, but I still feel like there's something else there. It's nothing that they could have treated really. They would have treated any differently. I think, but the feeling I get is like, so when I worked as a travel nurse at this kids nursing home in the city. It's not in the city anymore. It's moved. And I would see like the kids that were nonverbal, like, and really couldn't move, that had like lots of long-term stuff. And if they would be laying in bed, I could see them actually like their spirit sitting up outside of them, like playing. And it's amazing what the soul can do, and I just felt like he was, like, even when he wasn't feeling well, he was sort of not really there, like, he would astral travel in and out. So I don't feel like he suffered. Um, I always hate when, because like, this is not the time where you're like, "There's a lesson to be learned," but I almost feel like he was given a second chance to live as long as he did. And I feel like he helps you from the other side, or he's going to be helping you from the other side. Does it make sense when um I hear that like you're chasing the wrong whatever, you're off the track? I can imagine you miss him. So I'm sorry that that happened. I'm sorry that you have to even say goodbye to your grandchild. I'm sorry, you know, you I feel like he's gonna help you figure it out. He likes puzzles. Did he like puzzles? It's like I like puzzling it out. I like that's the feeling. I like puzzling it out. Maybe he's just showing me with the fingertips not getting enough oxygen, not getting enough oxygen. But it's weird because I don't feel like he felt like he was struggling to breathe because he didn't make me feel tight in my chest. I don't know, like some clue or something that you've just found recently. It feels like I'm chasing it. It's not going to lead you anywhere. It's going to lead you to a dead end. I feel like you're going to probably have to hit the dead end before, like, but it just feels like I'm chasing it. Did he like puzzles? Did he have the little stuffed dog? Because I don't feel like it's a bear. I feel like it's a dog. There's longer ears. Um, Stacy and Aaliyah, you guys are up. He did. Okay. So that's just validating. Those are all little validations that it's him. And he had a dog. Okay. Because I felt a little stuffed dog he has with him. Nice to meet you, Stacy. I'm sorry, Chatterbox. I'm sorry about your loss. He feels like he would have been really snuggly. I think he liked hugs. Things are different from the other side. It's they're not just because they were little here doesn't mean they're little there. And maybe it's about setting things straight and he likes to be a helper. Stacy says, wondering where do I live next? Sorry. I just felt like my eyes were so heavy. So there's two things I keep getting, not far from where you're at, but I feel East Coast of the United States and I feel Northeast. So I was actually hearing New Hampshire, but then I'm questioning myself on that. Does that make any sense to you? He was the best. Oh, I'm sorry, Chatterbox. And then, Melissa, I haven't forgotten about your general reading yet. Stacy, are you there? Here. You have a dear friend there, sister. Okay, then that might be where you're headed. Because I just kept hearing New Hampshire, and that's like the only thing I was like, And when you ask such a general question, it's like, that's the whole world. When you just say, where do I live next? That's the whole world you're asking me to go. So maybe that's why it feels like close to home, because you're close to somebody. You're welcome. Thank you. Hi, Aaliyah. Did you pay for 2 questions, Stacy? Let me see. Sorry, I just saw one, but maybe I. Did I do Kayla's? Am I like, Kay, did I do yours? Stacy only paid for 1. Oh gosh, I have Cheryl, Stacy, Shakoya. Oh, you're Aaliyah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, Kay, we need to do yours. Envy Me Foxy. I've closed the list for the night, but they are $5 a question, just so you know. So, but I've closed it for tonight. I'm gonna try and get done here soon. At the very end. So if you come back, I'm here every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come back next Sunday, or you can always get a private reading from me. And the link is below for my website where you can purchase a reading. And I email you shortly thereafter and offer you some options for times for an appointment. Okay, so that was Daisy's. Oh, where will your daughter go to high school? I don't know. I mean, that seems like a totally different question to me. She'll go to high school wherever you live. That's like, that's really obvious, but all right. So Aaliyah, you're up too. And Melissa, I think Chelsea. Okay, got it. Okay, what is the new job coming in for me that readers keep telling me about? They say it's coming in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, or February. You're welcome, Stacy. Hang on, let me figure out what this timing is. Because they're telling me Gemini. So what's Gemini? Sorry. May 21st to June 21st. That's when I get for you. And I don't necessarily feel like it's a new job, like a new place. It feels like maybe a position opening up. I don't necessarily feel like I'm leaving the company. Does that make sense when I say that, Kay? Or a position being created. It's not there yet. But I don't necessarily feel like you're leaving where you're at. Do you work for a larger company, like a larger cleaning company? You work at a gym at the Y. There's a position opening up there that'll open up for you. That'll be different. So it's not necessarily that you're leaving the Y, you just might be leaving your position. Does that make sense when I say that? I'm not sure exactly because to me it feels like the position isn't even open yet. Like they don't have it. They're creating this position. But I don't feel like I'm wearing a uniform. I feel like I'm wearing clothes. It may be within they have like daycare and childcare there. So it may be within the childcare area, but it feels like there's a position that will open up and will fit you. Yeah. So it feels like, so I don't know if you're going to be, either there may be a position opening up in the childcare area where you are helping, like not the main teacher, because I feel like they have, I don't know, they have childcare there. But I see it like that, like helping with that. Yeah. Because what they're showing me is like there's I belong to the Y like so long ago, but the JCC, which is the equivalent of it's like the YMCA, and being in the daycare side, or the preschool side, like so that's what it feels like. And I know the Y has childcare and stuff like that, so that's what I see you working with. And the position's not open yet, so whatever it is, it'll be opened time of Gemini. And Gemini is the twin sign, right? So that's where maybe they're picking up the two. I do think you'll like it. Feel like it gives you a sense of purpose and a sense of responsibility and pride. All right, so then I have Aaliyah and Cheryl. There you are. What do you see career-wise for you this year? They said shifting positions and taking a new path. Interests take you elsewhere. So I actually feel like you'll be leaving wherever you're at right now. I don't know what you do, obviously. But I got this feeling of and it may not literally be this, but book publisher, editor. So do you work with books? Do you work with in a library, or, and it doesn't feel like I'm a teacher. It feels like something with books. Not working currently. So then what I'm going to say is this: perhaps you end up going into, if you did high-end exec stuff, perhaps you end up working for a publishing company or something like that, because that's the feeling I got, was like book publishing. So that might be where you end up getting a job. So it's a pivot potentially from what you were doing before, and now I'm using the word pivot. So it's a change in direction from what you were doing before, but still sort of on the same wavelength. It feels less restrictive. So whoever my boss ends up being feels like less of an a-hole. Chelsea, Melissa, Aaliyah. Oh, you're here, still here. Chelsea, give me your question. Last boss was a big a-hole. Well, I feel like this one won't be such a big a-hole. Still a little bit demanding and expects a lot, but not a jerk face. There you are, Chelsea, facing a major health related block. General guidance from spirit. Is it by chance in your thyroid? Because I felt like a big lump in my throat. And tight in this area, like my heart and throat chakra feel very tight. Possibly. I can't diagnose. So if you're testing me, yes. Okay. My sense is that this, because when your thyroid is off, can create like palpitations and all kinds of stuff here. My sense is that's where it starts, and it's creating symptoms here. So go to an endocrinologist if you don't, or go to you probably need insurance, usually has you go to your PCP first, your primary care physician first, and do the lab work, and then they might send you to an endocrinologist. And I lean towards it being hypo versus hyper. So hypo is going to cause lethargy, difficulty tolerating heat, cold, heat. Fuck, that one I forget. Weight gain. Does that make sense for you? Obviously, I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose. That's where I lean towards it being the initial thing. Of course, please, if you feel like you have a health issue, okay, go get it checked out. What you can do while you're doing all your Western medicine and your medical care, what you can do spiritually and energetically, the work you can do on yourself is if this is where, in fact, where it originates, your throat chakra, why would your throat chakra be blocked? Years of not advocating for yourself, not speaking up for yourself, feeling like you're what you have to say and your opinions aren't of value, that emotionally you aren't able to express yourself. So you can do chakra clearings. You can work on healing your self-worth and your inner dialogue, and do the affirmations of, my opinions matter. What I have to say is of value. People value what I say. It's okay for me to speak. I'm safe, heal all of that stuff. Heart chakra is about giving and receiving love. More often than not, people are great at giving love and they suck at receiving love, allowing that in. So it's healing that as well. But obviously, I never say just do the energy work and screw the doctors. No, like I think that they can work together really quite beautifully. It's always good to do the inner work for yourself as well as doing the medical stuff. Okay, so I still have Aaliyah and Melissa. You want a general reading? Aaliyah, are you here? You're very welcome, Chelsea. I hope that you find healing and peace. There you are. Love coming in and marriage. When do you see me meeting my future husband and having children? Okay, so I'm getting 5 years, but I'm also seeing the age 35. How old are you right now? Does the 35, would 5 years put you? It doesn't mean you meet him in 5 years. It may mean that you, like, that's all wrapped up, marriage and then working on kids. And I do feel like when you get married, it'll be like, it's go time. Like, it's not like we're going to stay married for a couple of years and then we'll start having kids. It feels like, let's go. So 5 years for meeting him. You may have your last kid at 35, but there's something significant around 35. But I feel like 5 years for meeting. And I feel 3 for you. Do you have something with your right shin? Like, were you prone to shin splints, or do you have a bruise there, or is there a scar on your right shin, top part near your knee? I don't think meeting him at 35. I feel like 5 years meeting him. I don't think you're really ready yet. I know you're interested in it, but like they sort of make me feel like there's still like time to grow, hang out. Like it doesn't feel desperation yet. That I don't get that feeling. It feels more curiosity. Do you have something with your, I'm sorry, this is my right shin. I keep tapping and it's the outer aspect of it. So not the inner aspect, the outer aspect of it, closer to my knee rather than my foot. Okay. So that's just validation for you then, because they're like tapping it. Like, and I did see a scar. It looked like the scar I got when I walked into my friend's broken glass table. Probably should have gotten stitches, but I just butterfly taped it. Okay. Melissa, thank you for your patience. You are last, but certainly not least. General reading for Melissa. That's what you wanted, right, Melissa? General reading. I don't feel like scrolling all the way back up. I'm being lazy. I'm at an hour and a half. I'm tired. You're welcome. Okay, general reading. You're welcome, Aaliyah. Itchy nose. Okay. So I feel like I have a grandmother figure here, and she feels extremely judgmental. Like, stop messing around with and like she's rambling. Like she would have gone off and said all of these things. Like was very critical. Like she felt like she was being a loving, good grandmother. It just feels like massively critical. And like constantly cleaning, like she's picking up stuff and nitpicking at things and like this isn't this perfect. Like she probably had some OCD. Does this resonate at all, Melissa? And then I'm gonna bug your guides for this, but she just like I'm like, can I talk to her guides? Like I feel like this isn't helpful at all. I don't know what's going on here. Because my question to them was for her highest good, what does she need to know? And then I feel this like naggy old lady coming in. This resonates. Okay. Do you want to hear from her? Or do you want to hear from your guides? Did she pass from a stroke? Because my head hurts really bad. Your guides. Screw grandma, get her out of here. But real quick, did she pass from a stroke? I just want to understand the headache, really. She was in the hospital for a while. There's something with her head. Okay. Um, so to me, heart chakra feels like it needs a little work, a little clearing, because I felt kind of like that anxiety, like needing to breathe. So it's like making sure that you're being really mindful of your current state. Like everybody breathes enough to be alive, or you're not here, right? So we all breathe enough to be alive, but there's like this thing that we don't breathe enough for our soul, right? That nice, like conscious deep breathing where you inhale for 2, exhale for 4, or inhale for 6, whatever it is. It's like double on the exhale, as you do on the inhale, and you inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth. And it's sort of this is like conscious breathing, conscious releasing, and mindful relaxing. And you don't do enough of that. It feels like I'm just like sort of hustling through the day, going through the motions, and not really living and being present. Um, and that feeling of like not being enough, not being seen. Grandma didn't help. Um, but it feels like that's sort of embedded in my like subconscious belief system, and it's like time to let go of it. So they're sort of talking about like releasing. Do you have high cholesterol, or have you had your cholesterol checked lately? No high cholesterol, or no, it hasn't been checked lately? Because I just kept feeling this like twinge here. Okay. Um, maybe it's all related to anxiety. Just if you ever feel anything, like don't ignore it or don't think, well, it'll go away or whatever. I feel like get it checked out. You would The way they're making me feel like is you might tend to ignore something instead of getting it checked out. Like, oh, it'll go away, or like it just feels like make sure you're on top of your own self-care and healthcare and healing your heart chakra, kind of healing this heaviness here. So this is like you do have anxiety. Okay. So doing deep breathing, you can do affirmations to, heal your anxiety. It's just it's a symptom of trauma. And trauma doesn't have to be this disastrous thing. It can be this like over long periods of time of being told your emotions don't matter, your feelings don't matter, in one way or another. And anxiety is just a symptom of that. So you can do affirmations for that. I'm okay, like kind of resetting that. I know with my daughter, when she has her anxiety, we do a lot of deep breathing. We do that breathing that I was talking about. And then we do I do a visualization of a white light kind of going through her. But I also feel like just really healing your heart chakra. My daughter's extremely empathic, and I think she's really, really sensitive to like all the energies around her, and she worries about everything. She doesn't even know what cancer is, and she's like, she heard about it, I don't even know where. Probably some movie, and she was like, I don't want anybody to ever have cancer. I want everybody to heal from cancer. Like she's like wants to save the world. She worries about everything. She also worries about if food is going to be available, and we have like a 10-minute car ride. She's like, is food going to be there? I'm like, we're going to eat. Like there's going to be food there. So it just feels like really they're sort of focusing on this is what they want you to focus on right now is healing your heart chakra, your inner dialogue, healing your anxiety, sort of like consciously being aware of your breath, because that feels like that would actually bring a lot down. And then getting enough sleep, getting the sleep that you need would help it. That you're not doing enough self-care, like that's where you need to be at right now. That's the big takeaway is like the self-care, the inner dialogue, all of that. Does that make sense? Or do you have a question you would like for clarity? And then I'm going to head out. You have a newborn and you're not getting enough sleep. For sure. You're welcome, Cheryl. You're definitely not getting enough sleep if you have a newborn. And be kinder to yourself. Be gentler to yourself. We're so hard on ourselves when we have newborns. And we just I know with me, I breastfed. I did everything at night. I did like everything. And it's fucking hard. So give yourself a break. You don't have to be Superwoman. Laundry will get done eventually. You're working on your confidence. Roxy Talks has some really good affirmations, and you know what? Like just listen to them as you fall asleep. They'll register in your head. Listen to them in the middle of the night, when you're doing a feed, whatever. It'll kind of relax you. Doesn't hurt for the baby to hear those too. So it's also hard to that whole postpartum period too. Like I felt like it wasn't until my third kid where I was like, this is how I make babies. This is what my body does when I make babies. This is like, take it or leave it. Like I always, the first two, I stressed out so much about what people thought, or if I was, and by the third one, I was like, if I show up messy with a t-shirt and looking like garbage, you know what? You're always going to get my best. It may not be as good as yesterday. It may not be as good. I stopped worrying so much about what people thought. People always have a lot to tell you about some random dude, old man in the grocery store in Hoboken was like, my daughter had huge adenoids, huge tonsils. Like she never drained anything in her, like, so when she get a cold, it just all drained out of her face. Then she had cradle cap. And I read that you use Vaseline on their head to get rid of cradle cap. Like, I mean, so I did, but god dang, trying to get Vaseline out of a kid's head, like it works, but trying to get it out of their head, like when you're using like baby shampoos like that, like are gentle, like they're not going to get that grease out of their head. So like I washed her head like 5 times. Her hair was like greasy looking. She had like all this snot running down her face. And from being a nurse, like you don't just constantly wipe because then they're going to get excoriated and red and like have skin break down from that irritation of rubbing. So sometimes I would let it drip a little bit and be like, I'll get it in a minute. This old man's like walking in the store and like, he's like, you need to wipe her nose. You need to wipe her nose. You need to wipe her nose. And I want to be like, bitch. But I didn't. So like he chastised me. But what was funny is when I finally saw him, like for the last time, he's like staying there and I felt, I was like tired. She was sick. And I just wanted to grocery shop. I didn't want And he said something and his dead wife in spirit popped up and was like, his kids won't even talk to him now. He was such an asshole in life. I'm so happy I went first to get some respite. So just give yourself a break is my point. Just be easy on yourself. Don't feel like you need to get it all done. You don't have to be a superhero. Your baby's breathing and getting food. Make sure you're breathing and you're getting food and you're doing okay, getting the water and the rest that you need. And if you need to ask for help, ask for help. Okay? Alrighty, y'all. It's late. I'm tired. So I'm probably, let's see, I have a couple of readings tomorrow, late reading tomorrow night. So I might do the talk either Tuesday or shoot, maybe I'll do it New Year's Eve. Check out Dan McCluskey's channel. You're welcome, Melissa. Go to my website, sign up. Maybe you'll get a free reading. I do a monthly draw for that. I do private readings over Zoom. And I do mentoring. I'm going to be working on getting some other stuff set up. You guys have a wonderful night. And I will see you after the new year for sure on Sunday. If some of you guys want to join me for a talk, maybe I'll see you before then. And I'm going to post with the next email and the next thing, I'll post how much we've made since September. And then for the donations, because I'll go back to doing 30%, not after this next weekend, but the weekend after, I'll go back to 30%. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you for all of your love and support. I'm so glad that you've joined me. See you soon.